Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Real Talk, our first in 2026, Bo.
Yes, it is. Number one of 2026. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, Happy Days, and a Happy New Year. Here we are. It's January the 12th, 2026. Have you gotten used to writing the 26 yet?
No.
Usually takes weeks to kind of get that. Me neither. I'm typing the 25 still. Bless me, help me.
Well, it'll eventually about June sink in. So,
yeah, it will.
But we've got a couple things that we want to talk about to start with, and one thing is we've got the cold weather that came back from all this nice warm weather we had. We got the cold snap, and due to that, last night for the first night in a little while, our warming shelter out at Fairhaven Baptist Church was back active. And it's going to be active from now through this entire week through the 18th. And it looks like we're going to have a cold spell that's going to last much longer. So if there's anybody out there that knows somebody, or you yourself have heating problems, or you need a warm place to stay, Fairhaven Baptist Church, through the direction of John Hall, has opened up that warming shelter. And if you'd like to get in contact with Mr. John and find out the details on all how you participate in this, his number is 931-639-3321. We have a public service announcement listed on our Facebook page for anybody that needs to contact John Hall.
Yes,
he's in charge of that.
And look, John Hall will talk to you. I mean, he's a great. For those that don't know him, a great man, a great family. And for Fairhaven to open up their door to the public for this, we want to say a big thanks to them, because it shows the love that they have for this community, right?
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing, because a lot of us have heat, but there's a lot of people that don't have heat or shelter.
Yeah.
And this is a very trying time for them.
Yeah. When it gets down below 32 at night, it gets pretty rough on folks. Yeah. So, and we've got some snow possibly Wednesday night and Thursday.
Yeah.
And of course we've got more cold air coming and more cold air coming. So we're going to have some cold snaps. This warming shelter is critical.
Yeah.
It's a life or death situation.
Yeah, it is. In some cases it is. And you mentioned the cold weather we have coming. Right now I would say is a good time to prepare for those. Look at heaters you may use. Look at the wires around those. Look at look at things. Kind of tighten up your house and get ready, because when it's cold for multiple days below freezing for a while, that's what really puts.
I don't see it on the weather forecast right now, but when it gets below, let's say 12 degrees, 13 degrees in that range, and you start dipping down into single digits, you need to make sure that your water don't freeze up at home.
Yes.
Leave that faucet dripping. Make sure exposed pipes are covered. That type thing.
Yeah,
so
that's a good idea, because I had the problem happen in my life before, which I've mentioned here, a water heater that broke and busted.
Oh man!
And one thing that I should have done is look at the insulation around those pipes, because it was little to none.
Get exposed, and it makes a huge difference.
It does. And I had my water on dripping, but there's some things when it gets below a certain point, it's unless it's really insulated.
Yeah.
So it's a good time to get your checklist out for those things. Get ready for the cold.
So just keep your eye on the weather forecast as far as your low temperatures on that. Right now, there's nothing out there in the next 6 or 7 days, but outside of that, man, we got February to deal with coming up, and we got the rest of January. So
and hey, don't discount March. March will come through with a foot of snow if you.
All right, so that's kind of a public service answer. Next thing I want to do is talk about a few things that's happened since we last sit down together.
Yeah.
And one has been just numerous. I lost count on how many different filings have been made on the Uncle Nearest situation.
Yeah, it was. I kind of jokingly asked, "Was there another one today?"
Yeah,
and which there wasn't. But it seems like
not yet,
not yet,
not yet.
As we speak, it has been a lot happening there, and it's really been covered well, I'll say. And I've been informed by Shelbyville now, and
Josh is all over this.
Josh is doing an absolutely wonderful job, and he's been on it since the get-go. Let's not forget.
Oh, yeah.
He's not letting this go, and he's on top of it every time. What's happening. It's interesting. I mean, there's
all of a sudden there's somebody wants to buy it.
Yeah,
and the company was formed 7 months ago.
Yeah,
that's kind of odd timing. And you look at it and say, well, what's this about? I think it's maybe a delay.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody trying to get a pool of people to come bail the situation out. But the main line that the the guy in charge over in Columbia has got to do, our receiver has got to look at this and say, how can I get Farm Credit's money back? That's what he's supposed to be doing.
That's the job. And that's when I see all of these stories, these releases, that's the one question that pops up in my mind. What about the money, the Farm Credit? How much was it?
108 million.
108 million. What about that?
And that's what
and that's
number,
it.
That's what the number is. Ironically, well, I think it's more than 108, but 108 million supposedly is an offer coming from this Phantom company.
A settlement, from the Phantom company.
Yeah, don't know what it is. It's
Project Cardinal Company. Is that what it is?
No, it's a LLC, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's out of Atlanta, Georgia. It's real cryptic, and it's kind of puzzling. But we got some comments coming in. Amy Philpott, the Halls are wonderful people. Absolutely.
Yes, they are. I second that.
Get the word out, Amy. If anybody needs shelter, it's opened up. So
yeah.
But no, that situation is going to be ongoing for a while, and it's a little bit. I'm like, okay, this confusion is by design.
It is. That's exactly what I think. When you see these releases, there was a lot before Christmas. I'm surprised this judge hadn't flipped his lid.
I bet he's happy about it.
yeah, he is. But as far as public comment, I'm getting that same feel. As everyone's kind of getting lost in all the
are we going to watch this on TV one day?
Probably so. It might be a movie about it.
I doubt it's a movie. I bet it's one of those documentaries.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
All right, let's move on with that. Bo, I just sitting back and being away for a couple of weeks and getting a big picture look. One thing I'm looking at is what's going to happen in 2026. What do we need to be on the lookout for as far as happenings in our county, in our city here? And what are some of the concerns? And I made a list of concerns. Okay. One thing that I'm concerned with, and this is nationwide, it's not just a local issue, but we do have people here in our county that are struggling with this right now. That's the price of groceries. I know things continue to just gradually go up. The price of beef is through the roof. I saw a family yesterday at a grocery store that they were on a budget. And, you could tell it was a struggle for them to buy a husband, a wife, and two kids to pay for their groceries. Yes. They didn't have any type of assistance. They were paying with their own money. And it's like my heart goes out to those folks. And that's just the issue that's nationwide.
It is. And the first thing that comes to my mind is how can we how can we get relief from this? How can we get the groceries down? Well, and I don't know that
we don't have
without growing my own food.
I know.
And I can't provide all the
well, that's something to be said about that. We have some local sources.
We do have some,
but it's expensive too. All groceries are expensive.
It is.
But that's one thing that I'm concerned and I'm watching closely because it affects all of us.
Yes.
I mean, when we go to the grocery store, what used to fit in 2 bags you could walk out of the door with for like $30 or $40. Now it's $100.
Yes.
And that's scary.
It's very scary. Before pre-COVID, and a lot of these, and even after, a lot of the incomes in the household, they haven't gone up with the groceries. So, multiply that with the, other increases of things that are going up. We've had the gas is still, I don't know, it'll be at $2.60, then it'll be at $2.10. You just don't know.
It is cheaper.
It is cheaper.
Crude oil is going to probably hover where it's at right now until this Venezuelan mess flies over. And we're probably going to have some cheap crude oil. And maybe, hopefully, the cheap gas prices should follow along with that. That's a little bit, but it's not enough to make up for these grocery prices and some other things.
No, it's not. You can notice it. I notice a little more gas in the tank. It seems like, or a little less money spent and a little, for the budgeting. And when you go to the budget and whatever you got left over for your gas allotment, it's not a whole lot when it goes to the grocery.
Man, I went to the grocery store the other day, and right now I'm on this grapefruit kick. Okay. I love grapefruit. Yeah. So I was not here. I was somewhere else. And I went in the grocery store and I said, I'm going to get me a couple of grapefruit. Yeah. I've been buying the little slices in the packs that you can get. That's, that's easy. So I was going to save some money. Well, I went over grapefruit, $1.69 a piece. A piece. I'm like,
it's the tariff.
Are you kidding me? All right. So anyway, look, that's something I'm watching close. Yes. And I know everybody out there is, because if you're on a fixed income, You got to watch these
The
things.
grocery store visit is painful right now.
Mark Henley, a great start would be President Trump making moves to break up the monopoly in the meat packing industry. Man, here's something that blows your mind. You go to sell a cow, you ain't getting no more than you did 2 years ago, but the price of beef is through the roof, and Mark Henley has hit a sore spot with me.
Yes.
That's the truth. Right? This is price rigging.
It is. I mean, a steak used to be affordable. I remember you could go get a pretty
Steak's
good
out of the question, Bo.
I know it. I mean,
dog food is looking better. I'm telling you.
Hamburger steak, maybe. I mean,
no, you can't even afford ground beef. But
it's
anyway,
we're
gonna be
food everywhere.
A lot of pork coming my way.
Pork and chicken.
Chicken's going.
But yeah.
But anyway, off the groceries, but more focused on Bedford County now. We talked over some real estate numbers probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. You brought some numbers to us, and it looked like prices were easing some. Inventory was up. Here's my question, Bo, you being on the planning commission, what do we got to look forward to in the city of Shelbyville and our county, Bedford County, as far as developments? I know there's a lot of them on the books, a lot of them are in the plans, but some of them are holding back. And I know we got a big one coming for the city.
Mm-hmm.
What is this going to look like, and how do we do this responsibly? That's what I'm concerned with. How do we do these developments and do it responsibly? What else involved in that? I see a lot of moving parts, Bo.
Well, I think that that what we do have an advantage with all these that are approved on the books but have not been developed yet. Our advantage now is just that they haven't been developed yet, and it gives us time to prepare.
Okay,
this should be the time right now.
How do we prepare? I can't prepare for it, but our city government, our codes, planning.
You expand your water when you expand your pipes. You get these things.
And that's a utility thing. So how does the utility company come up and do this without breaking everybody?
There you go, because it's going to take some kind of, whenever you have this type of infrastructure to be put in by any type of municipality or county government, city, state, it's not free, right? No free lunch, right?
Yeah.
And somewhere it's going to go. I expect that to happen, and I think a lot of people do expect that. It's almost like, well, we're at this point now. Do we want to give a lot? No, and I don't want any taxes to go up. But we can't this can't be in for free. I do hope that.
Well, wait a minute. You go to the utility. We're talking about just our water bills. Forget about the taxes. That's going up automatically.
All kinds, but there are ways that I would like to see that developers have to pay or have to invest a little bit more.
What about your impact fees? Is that not?
It's not. You're not able to do that here. There's some type of legality where it isn't, but there are other avenues. And I know that the city and the planning commission are getting together maybe this month or the first of next month, and that's one of the issues that they're going to discuss is how it's just have the discussion of how can we do this?
All right, I got a question for you. You probably know this since you're kind of in this mix. What does a tap fee cost now for a new construction?
I'm not really sure exactly what the tap fee is, because as far as new construction, I do it afterwards and I don't get to see, but I know that it has gone up. And let's see, I know in 2020 it was it's gone up. I know that, but I don't know the fee.
It's but here's the deal. Way up.
But here's the deal: if there was a way, and I think of an impact fee, that would be. I think that makes sense. But the developers throughout, they've lawsuited it to death, and they've came up that it is not reasonable, because I think a lot of cities were really asking too much. Now there's reasonable accommodations, and then there's just unreasonable.
Well, I think tap fee for new construction should cost more than a tap fee for an add-on.
Yeah, no.
What I'm saying, if the product's already developed, if I've got let's say I've got 12 acres in the county,
mm-hmm.
and not in the county, we're talking about city here. Let's say I got 5 acres on the verge of the city and I've been
mm-hmm.
annexed in, and I want to put another tap in there.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't be taxed just like or have a huge fee, right, since that land's already been
You've
developed.
But
new development taps should be higher.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, the cost. I mean, go try to get even a 50-foot little ditch dug for a water pipe. Oh, I mean, labor,
Yeah.
and then the material charge. But, back to the main issue, I really would hope, and I think a lot of developers do. I mean, that reluctantly, it's one way that they can get their projects going is by improving infrastructure.
Yeah.
And then we talk about infrastructure. Let's not forget about our police and our fire coverage.
Yeah.
I mean,
the more we have, the more we're going to have there.
and that's one of the biggest things I think that we, especially on the county side, we need more deputies out in the county. I mean, I think at any given time, I know that, but guess what? They cost money.
I know. We're running the same crew that we probably had 15, 20 years ago, and it's a different environment.
They're working as hard as they can and doing the best that they can with what they got, because they can't just they can't do quick drive-by, like visits. They have to take each call like it's
So my question back to it, what does it look like? Responsible growth. We got to have the infrastructure. That's what we immediately go to.
Mm-hmm.
So how does the county and the city get a grip on all these huge projects that seem to be showing up?
Mm-hmm.
They're not all being built, but if you say yes to it,
mm-hmm.
you got to plan on it starting next week, because even if they don't, you got to be ready for it. So that's a big moving target there.
I think that's where the city, department heads or part of the government, they come and they find funding, ways that, maybe grants, maybe state, maybe federal, maybe other ways, so that the burden is not solely on.
Let's look at our state highways. You got 41A coming in from Unionville,
mm-hmm.
Unionville, Union Street, Unionville Highway area. That's one of the most congested areas at certain times of the day, and that's come in question with a major development out there.
Mm.
Who widens that road?
Yeah.
Who does that? The state does.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so how long will it take the state to move to help Shelbyville out and Bedford County out on Highway 41A right there, when you got people right now stacked up wanting to build?
Yeah.
All right, is it going to be 10 years? Is it going to be 5 years? Is it going to be 3 years? What does that window look like?
It might be 10 years of land acquisition and them having for eminent domain.
I know.
And then there'll be the appeal process. Don't forget.
Yeah.
And there could be. Yeah.
So to me, that area right there is a moratorium.
You could make a very, very good argument based on, traffic.
We're waiting on the state.
So, when it's at 5 o'clock or whenever these times were the most, getting police through there adequate, say if there was a big time emergency or something, that maybe Unionville School or something out that way. I mean, you've got a 2-lane road. I mean, you've got all this traffic. You better go slow on 41A North. People are coming through there.
All right. So here's my question, Bo, and this ties directly to that. You look at Jennings Lane.
Mm-hmm.
People use it as a secondary bypass, even though it's not a bypass. And that road's going to come apart eventually.
Yeah.
Is there anything, some sort of grant that we could get right there? That's in the city partly. Yes. Then it goes over into the county.
That's where the county and the city can coordinate.
Got to work together and build that up a little bit while we're waiting on the state. And then you got to put you got to say, guys, we ain't got the traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't handle the traffic.
And you're right. And there's a lot of discussions now, but it's time to act.
Yeah.
Because, soon these things on the board that haven't been built yet will be built.
Yeah.
Will we be ready then? That's the question.
Probably not. We're so far behind, Bo.
Well, we are, but I think we can, we have to, I think that if you get the people that want to get this done and can see this for the future, we don't want to leave this on the backs of our future. I mean,
it's already been done.
Eventually, somebody's going to
25 years ago, somebody left it on our back.
Yeah. So what you do in a sense is you invest in the future some way, and this is a way where we're going to have to invest in the future. All right.
When you say invest, that's automatically dollar signs.
Well, I mean,
it's just going to be
an invest of everything. Yeah,
I know it's going to be dollar signs. I mean, it's going to cost a lot of money to do this. Now, the state, that's why I bring up 41A. It's not going to come out of our pocket.
No.
But it's not going to come out of our city budget pocket.
Yes,
okay?
That's right. No, that would be a funds.
Yeah, and that would be a monster project, going through there, clipping all that property up through there and getting all that property. And what are you going to do with Gowan Smith Funeral Home?
Yeah, and they just improved. It looks great.
I know. You got a straight drop off right off the highway. You ain't got no land there.
No, not at all.
And without taking their front door.
Yeah, you're going to be in the front door. And I'm in no way for any type of tax increase. I don't like, it's like going to the grocery store, but like 10 times worse. But there's something to be said, I guess, and invested in your home or the place you grew up and you're proud of. Sometimes that goes along, but I think that also there's a lot of waste that could get wiped away, and maybe you could use some things in there.
Right, and it costs a lot though to develop roads and build them. I mean, and widen them. And I mean, you've heard Mark Clinton talk about how much it costs per mile just to pave.
Yes.
Well, wait, man, do you know what a driveway costs? A paved driveway?
Oh,
you start looking at Madison Street, you're talking about millions of,
yes.
I mean, Union Street out that way, millions of dollars that we ain't got.
No doubt about it. There's no doubt about
it. So that's something to look at. All right. Other things, issues I see coming up, and not to change off the developments and all that, but that's our biggest problem is infrastructure.
And one more thing that we mentioned this in the year. What is the year 2026 for? Higher our standards, have high standards, even when it comes to wastewater, when it comes to city development, have the high standards. That doesn't mean you can't work down or see each project different, but you start, here are our rules, here's where we are.
You know what we said about a month ago? I said it, and you were talking about this higher standards, and I said, and straight answers.
Yes,
need to go along with the high standards.
And straight answers aren't always nice or the best answers that people want to hear.
Yes or no is sometimes sufficient, and we always get word salads instead of yes or no.
Yes.
I mean, it's are we planning on doing this? It's either yes or no.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Not well. And then you start after well, comma, you have 12 paragraphs.
I agree.
That's insufficient. Yes or no.
Direct. Be direct.
Yes or no. All right. Other issues coming up that we have, and I know Josh is working on this, a tax freeze for seniors.
Oh, yes.
For the city and for the county property taxes.
Yes.
Now, I've seen a lot of comments floating around. I've heard a lot of chatter about this. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, that's like putting the burden on other people. We're not talking about eliminating property taxes. We're talking about freezing the tax rate that they are now, not taking it away.
Yes, right. That's
a big difference.
That's a big difference. They're still paying, in the pool with like everybody else. But I know he's been working behind the scenes. I know he's met with the mayor. I know he's met probably with county. He's trying to coordinate a city county thing, even though this is two separate things that the county would vote on in the city. I love the way that it's going. I know that it's going to catch a lot more traction here in the next month or so.
I hope it does.
I really hope it does with the county, but I think.
Well, let me tell you, with the citizens, it's a 90% slam dunk.
Oh, they love it. They absolutely love it. And I mean, and of course, why not? I mean, I just talked about investing in the people or our employees. I think that's a way you're investing in those that have given. There's a way to think about things, and I think that this is first of all, this is from the heart, I believe, that, and just like Blevins said, when he talked to a lady that was about to lose her house, that's real stuff going on.
You can bump into somebody just about every day that's of that age. And I know right now we've got, I think Josh said, about 700 or so that are taking advantage of the tax aid, which is like just a little bitty, like $100 or something they're getting. But those same people could qualify for having this locked in so they can plan.
Yes.
That's what this is about. It's not trying to avoid paying taxes. No. It's trying to avoid paying exuberant taxes that put you in the street.
And I know that's exactly right. But and kind of the other side to it is the work, or that they say the other I guess way the work that it's going to cost them, the extra work that maybe some departments will have on.
There's several counties that's done this.
Yeah, that's what I think, and I think I don't know how that process works right now, but I know that other counties have, and recently Cookeville did, Putnam County. Did
we not pay people to do this?
I think that's what
I think everybody in that apartment is going to get paid for doing this.
They'll probably get extra money. I know that here's the sentiment. I think that there's a lot of development in Bedford County, and there's a lot going on. I feel like that office probably needs more staff, and they probably do. And I think that
when it's not tax time, maybe work this out.
Yes.
I think everybody's busy during tax season.
Yes,
but I think there's a lot of downtime when there's not tax season. Yes. I don't know. I'm not an expert on it, but you could probably ask Tanya Davis, and she could tell you when their downtime is, where they not as flooded. Right. Well, that's when you work on this.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, you're exactly right. But I think that also that this is just a great thing. I really. I hope that it works. I hope that it goes through.
We're gonna find out, Bo, who don't hate Granny. All right. That's right. All right. Okay. Now, one other thing that I had written down here to talk about today is hopefully in 2026 we'll start having more open dialogue between different ideas at our political level, our representatives when they get together to meet, that there's more open dialogue.
Yes, open dialogue.
Yeah, to where
right.
you don't get offended because somebody has a different idea. And
No.
and I'm afraid that whatever side you may be on, we're all guilty of maybe taking it personal.
Yes.
Or maybe taking it to the point of, well, you're wrong and I'm right 100%. We can all be right and we can all be wrong just a little bit,
yes.
and all get along. I would like to see that at every level. When there's a debate coming up, do it respectfully, make your case, and no egg throwing, no tire slashing, none of this stuff.
It's the time to eliminate that.
Yeah.
It's the time for real, no, I don't mean to say this, but real talk. It's time to really get it out and talking with, out with the people. And when you disagree on things, that means that one side, is, really cares about one issue. And you can do that on policy, and we can walk out and be personal friends or, acquaintances. That we need to get away with the trash talk and all that stuff. Look, we're here together. We live here in this county together. Let's not make it any worse than it could be,
Yeah. So that open dialogue is another thing. And then, and one other thing too, we've got, I think, property tax increase coming. I think at the county level, I don't know about the city level, but I think that we're going to be left with a tax increase come whenever it is, May and June, when that's talked about. Yeah. I think there's a lot of stuff that's going to be hitting us in the face that's going to.
Yes, that's something to pay attention to. I did have a chance to talk with Rhonda briefly about this. I was going to meet with her, but for whatever reason, we didn't. She did talk about the changes and that there are options of ways to maybe find some relief in it. I know that I'm not sure when she's leaving the office.
February.
Yeah. So I would really, I hope we can get some clarity on that, and we'll see if we'll have some.
I'm talking about property taxes for everybody that's paying property taxes in the county.
Yeah.
As far as our budget goes. The county budget. Yeah. When they're working on the budget in May.
Yeah.
They're going to set our tax rate at that point. I think we're going to see 16 to 22 cents raise on that.
Well, I mean, and that's kind of when was the last, what was our last biggest raise?
Well, it happened back in 2023, maybe.
23, yeah.
When we raised everybody all at once, I expect to see another big pay raise. Not a big pay raise, but a pay raise to the point to where our property taxes have to go. I hope it remains neutral. I hope we can get our pencils out. And I would love to see us look at this thing line item and have open dialogue that I just talked about on a line item budget rather than bundling everything together.
It would be great.
I'm watching really, really close to the people that decide they want to continue to bundle.
Yes.
That's another thing.
Bundling is not popular.
No.
You don't bundle. Each and every issue have its own talk. We might be here all night, but that's okay. That's what we do, right?
Well, that's what the job is.
That's what you signed up for.
You're there to represent the district that you got elected to represent, and you got to go to bat for the people.
That's right.
Okay. And I don't see a whole lot of people. I see a handful of people going to bat for the people, the 56,000 people that live in Bedford County. We got to see more of that.
We do.
Open dialogue for those people.
We do. And it doesn't come to you. You got to go to
it. Ain't about the 18 people sitting there. It ain't about the 6 or 7 that's sitting across the front bench. It's about the people out in the county while these meetings are going on.
That's right.
And those people sitting back there on those benches, a lot of those public that show up, it's about them. That's what this is about.
The ones that you think that don't pay attention, they're paying attention. Yeah. And you got to go out there to them. A lot of times they don't come to you.
No, a lot of people have got their head buried in the sand, unfortunately, and they don't realize it until after the fact. Oh man, my property taxes went up. Well, they were talking about it 3 months ago, and people just don't pay attention.
Not until they feel it.
We're trying to get as much information out there to people as we can, Bo. Yes, but some people are just busy in their lives and they don't have time to watch and look, and they don't know what's going on.
I get that.
I do too, man. You can get consumed. I do. To pay for the groceries. You got to work hard.
That's right.
All right. So the one other thing I want to talk about is wastewater committee. The advisory committees had a very good meeting, I thought, for their second meeting. They turned the tide over that first meeting that had that little debacle going on.
Yep.
They moved past that, had some good presentations there, both. So I look we're going to watch that. They've got a year, so 2026 is their year to shine.
They did, and you know, I learned a lot by watching that. I wasn't able to participate or be there, but seeing the CEO and the engineer from Consolidated talk about that, as well as some local, like John Freeman was there with his comments. There's several others. You know, I really liked. You know, I heard one comment, and I really liked is we want the standards to be high. We want higher standards.
Higher standards and straight answers, Bo.
That's right. And I hope higher standards. Hey, it keeps coming back. You know,
that's my slogan for the year.
You know, that's just coming back naturally. It really is. I'm not bringing that up to, you know, but that's exactly what we want. I think that's what the people of Bedford County want.
Yeah. Here's what Bedford County needs. Okay. I'm just going to tell y'all out there. Okay. This is just David talking.
Okay,
right?
David.
We need listeners, not leaders. Okay. We don't need leaders. We need listeners, people that listen. We don't need people that lead. All right. No, we don't. I mean, these people that are elected are listeners, supposed to be. They're there to listen to the constituents.
I agree.
And then vote like those people in their districts.
That you don't. It's
for those people. So that we don't need leaders.
No.
Those people out there are the leaders.
You don't come and say, well, here's what I think. Here's what I think. You can have your opinion, but your job when you're sitting there is to represent the people that put you there.
To do that job there, you have to listen to those people.
That's what you have to do.
You're not a leader when you show up at these meetings. If you think you are, you're very, very confused. Okay. And the other thing, we're going to go back to the slogan: higher standards and straight answers. Listeners, not leaders. Higher standards, straight answers for this year, 2026.
Hey,
that's our slogan.
I like it.
All right, that's our theme around here.
That's our theme, and I
are you in? You in?
I'm in.
Are you in? All right. So much for my preaching. My preaching is over with, Bo. But next, all right, we're gonna have to get out of here. But on Thursday, we're gonna have an interesting conversation that got brought up on Shelbyville Now last week about employees, county employees serving on the county commission. We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
And we encourage everybody to share and tune in this coming Thursday at about the same time, 4:00. We're going to talk about county employees serving as county commissioners.
And you know why I like talking about, because that's what people are wanting to talk about. That's the question. Yeah.
I mean,
and we want to talk about what you want to talk about.
And we're going to not get personal.
No.
It's just talking about the practical implications that come with that.
Yes.
And the ability that we have as a county to say we're going to have better practices and higher standards. That's one of the higher standards that should come out in 2026.
Okay.
All right.
I look forward to that discussion.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll be back again Thursday. Chew on what we've talked about. Yeah. We've thrown a lot out there.
Don't chew too much.
Give us your thoughts when you have a thought. And we look forward to seeing you again this Thursday.